Welcome to the Tuckcast with a splash of bourbon, presented by Tuckaseegee Fly Shop with locations in Bryson City and Sylvan, North Carolina. Be sure to follow the crew on Facebook at tuckflyshop.com, Instagram at tuckflyshop, and YouTube at Tuckaseegee Fly Shop for all the latest information and instructional videos. Be sure to visit Tuckaseegee Fly Shop for all things fly fishing in West North Carolina and beyond. Remember, the online store is always open. Today's episode is brought to you by Brady's Handmade Nets. Purchasing a Brady's Handmade Net ensures that you will not only have a net, but an heirloom for generations to appreciate. Pride, professionalism, and attention to detail are all traits found in a Brady's Handmade Nets. Visit bradyshandmadenets.com for more information. I'm your host, Shannon Big Mess Messer, joined by Bobby the Bearded Wonder Bennett and Coach Dale Diesel Collins.
Gotta catch your breath, don't you?
Yeah, you know, I was really out of breath last week, and I said, I gave you guys a hard time for when I was gone. And dude, yeah, you get on a roll. You get on a roll. Like I had that little pre-recorded thing, and I did it like 4 or 5 times, and I had practiced it so you can like boom, 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 boom. But just kind of reading it off the sheet like that, it gives you great appreciation for those people behind the scenes that are doing this. That
probably
we never
do like
see.
10 takes.
Yeah, voiceover people.
Well, those Brady nets that's the real deal, man. I love those things.
They're a net and they're real, so they're the real deal.
Real deal.
It is definitely a work of art, you know, and we appreciate Brady's Handmade Nets, Josh Brady and his dad, Mr. Brady, for sponsoring the Tuckcast with a splash of bourbon. And thank you, folks, for listening. This week we are hoping that we got all the record buttons pushed. I've got it recorded, pushed on my end.
mine's pushed.
Bobby's pushed this week, and so Bobby and I both have experienced what it's like not to hit the record button. But fortunately, last week we did have the audio, and that is why there was no video up on YouTube. And we apologize for that. That's what happened, and so here we go. And we've got Brady's Handmade Nets on with us for this month here. And you folks remember that we had Josh Brady and his dad in here for a live
a couple months ago.
Yeah, if you want to hear more details on how the process works, go check that episode out for sure.
It's a good one for sure.
It is.
We have a special guest in the studio today.
Finn
The Black Lab is here in person.
Tail's wagging. Y'all can't see him, but
Likes to lay on my feet.
Tail is wagging. How old is Finn now?
A year and it'll be 2 years in October.
Okay.
So whatever that math is, I don't know.
Yeah, couple months shy.
You said October?
Yeah.
Hey, it's a good month.
22 months.
That's a big month for you this year, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a great month to be fishing.
Hey, you know, what is it? Is it Saturday? What's the first?
Saturday is the first.
Saturday's the
Yes,
first?
it is.
So it was a Saturday, I guess, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. When we opened?
6 years ago.
August 1st.
Saturday.
It was a Saturday. We opened up.
There you go.
So happy anniversary.
Woohoo! Happy anniversary. There's one of these things here. Let's see. Here we go.
I guess that's a current event.
There we go. Hey. All right. Absolutely. Yeah, August is a neat month, too, for us. Alex turns 21 on Monday. Bobby's got a birthday on Monday coming up. You guys share the same date on the birthday.
That's a big one, too.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
Getting younger.
What are you?
40.
Lordy, Lordy. Bobby's going to be 40.
40.
Hey, man, when you reach like 45, everything goes all to hell.
I'm gonna buy one of them new Broncos as my midlife crisis.
Cool.
Man, I think those things look great. Everybody's giving them crap about looking like the Jeep, but who cares?
They don't look anything like the Jeep.
I don't think so either.
They look like the old Bronco.
That's right, exactly where I'm at.
You know, I'd like to have
the first gen Bronco.
I'd like to have one of those Broncos 300 6-cylinder engine, 3 on the tree, blue with the white hardtop, just with the white steel wheel, and they had the just the hubcap on them.
Yeah.
I think the back seat was an option on that. The back seat was an option on the Jeep as well. Mr. Ray Hefner, fantastic gentleman and someone who was important in my life as a young boy. He had one that he drove to Daco, worked to Daco every day.
Yeah.
And that was the color. It was blue with a white top, and it was just great. But I just love the shape. I would always been attracted to to that type of vehicle. And
yeah, they always look good.
I had the Bronco 2 in high school, man.
You know, when the Bronco 2 came out like in 85, 86, I was like, that's it. And then the Ranger, I was like, man, I like to have one of those.
Wheels off that thing.
Did you?
Yeah, I love
I've
that.
never owned a Ford.
Yeah.
Never have.
My first vehicle was a 73 F100. 3 on the tree, long wheelbase, 2-wheel drive. Ranger XLT, by the way. multicolored blue.
Well, the great thing about that generation of cars was that you could work on them yourself.
Literally on that truck, I could raise the hood, and you could literally sit on the fender well. It was flat, and you could see ground. I mean, you saw daylight.
It's just a motor.
Ultimately, that was the kiss of death for mine because I four-wheeling, mudding, and cracked the head, and that was all she wrote.
That had that small V6 in it, didn't it?
Yeah. I put a little cherry bomb on it. Thing purred.
Did it have locking hubs, or were they manual?
Oh, yeah, you had to get out and lock in.
Yeah, because one of those options they had on that, it actually had an auto locking hub.
Yeah. No, it wasn't auto locking.
Yeah. We was always.
It wasn't the Eddie Bauer.
Yeah, the Eddie Bauer. That's right, Eddie Bauer.
Hey, aren't they going out a bit? I think I saw
Eddie Bauer's out.
Maybe it wasn't Eddie Bauer. It was one of those that's kind of a staple.
Yeah.
I saw we're going bankrupt.
I think it's just a sign of the times. Yeah.
Those mall stores, man.
Malls. I think malls are a thing of the past.
Yeah.
I said that 10 years ago. They're still around. Did you know there's a mall in Hendersonville?
No.
Four Seasons.
Blue Ridge Mall on Four Seasons Boulevard.
Yeah, that thing is.
They got Belks.
I'd be ashamed to call it a mall.
I mean, it's relative.
Yeah. Well,
some bad things happen at malls.
Yeah.
They'll come back. About 30 years, malls will be back.
It comes in
survived
cycles.
Four Seasons in Greensboro and Haynes Mall in Winston. I'll be all right.
You know, I think back in the 80s when, Reaganomics was hitting and plastic was king, man, the malls was the happening scene. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
It was
stuff
always
like that.
fun to go to the
Orvis
mall
got on the
also.
mall bus. I mean, they're basically these outdoor malls now, the corporate stores.
You know, you're really seeing a trend, and you've seen it for the last 6 years or so with the almost like a planned community. It has food and stores.
Well, you had
and,
your anchor stores.
and you have
Dillard's,
housing,
Belk's, JCPenney.
things like that around it,
Yeah.
and it's just a real like a community. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, those are things.
Mixed use retail.
I think that's
zoning.
probably a good way to say that. Maybe that's a new mall now. You look at the other mall in Asheville that they turned into the outlets. It's like an outdoor mall.
Yeah.
But people go.
They
so
save some money on ceilings over that walkway.
They do.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. And then heat and air, all that stuff like that. But I think it's just a different vibe for people.
Yeah.
I just think it's perception. But yeah. Cool. So Bobby's going to get a Bronco.
Bronco
No,
Bobby.
Probably not.
Probably
But
not.
Why not, man?
I like my Tacoma.
Cost money.
Toyota's a bulletproof. I might buy one. Who knows?
Ask them terrorists if them things are bulletproof, driving them things all over the desert.
Bulletproof.
Pretty sure them 50 cows go through them just fine.
They'll just keep running though.
50 cows.
You knock a piston out of the thing, it'll keep going.
Golly.
Isn't it crazy how they always end up driving a Toyota?
Yeah, they
Toyota
got
can't
that
like
in
that
those
image.
in those
The
Nissans.
Nissan,
The
yes.
Nissans. Yeah. They do. They have that mount on the back, man. We had Captain Cross. Jack would say, "Here goes another Navy story." But we had Captain William V. Cross, a.k.a. the Hulk, was his call sign. Little short guy, but he was thick. And when he got out there, he developed this thing called a Rat Patrol. And they took the tractor. It's not really a tractor, but they call it a tractor that they attach to the aircraft to move them around. And they had the guys down in the engineering shop down there to make a trailer. And they made a 50 caliber gun mount. And we had a Marine detachment on board the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Their job is when they called for the Rat Patrol, someone had to go man the 50 cal, and they would drive them around the flight deck, and they would shoot the 50 cal.
That's kind of cool,
off
man.
the flight deck. So the guys in the Mardette were probably loving it.
That's like $10 every round that goes off, man.
Dude, they
Maybe
shot
more.
them. Oh, they shot them. They shot them. And they would launch these look like big giant tomatoes, red targets overboard. And they were big. It was about as big as this room. They get away from the ship, and then they start shooting them. You know, they would have their practice shooting at that, and then the other 50 cal mounts around the carrier, they would all have their turns.
Hey, what was that thing?
shooting
What's
at
that thing that I sent you the video of? The one that's just like it moves on its own.
Oh, the Sea Whiz?
Oh man, that thing is crazy.
One of those above.
Looks like it's throwing a ribbon.
Yes.
tracer
So
rounds.
one of those was a mount right above the rack I slept in on port side. And when that thing would fire, zzz, I mean,
That's what
and
it
all
sounds
those
like.
rounds were just pounding
Yeah.
the deck, and there's no sleep. So I had after steering below me, I had jet engine shop above me, And then on the port side, I have a Sea-Whiz mount. And if you were trying to sleep and they were doing stuff, forget it.
Yeah, if anybody out there likes guns, go look up Sea-Whiz and watch that thing.
Yeah, it's impressive.
That thing is crazy.
Looks like an R2-D2. We called it R2-D2.
Yeah.
It's kind of the term for it there, but it was a 50 cal.
It's amazing how they can shoot missiles and stuff out of the air with that thing.
Shoot some rounds, man.
Yes, it does.
Don't be in the way. You're done.
Yeah,
and it'll just stick a fork in you. So there you go. So that's a cool thing. So we had a 50 cal, but you're right, man. Those Nissans and Yodas just happen to be.
There was the Grand Tour it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, it's a great show.
They had an episode on which truck.
Yes, they did.
Would be the most like the best truck for terrorists to use.
Seriously, they took the new Colorado. Then they take the new Colorado, the new Ranger.
They had the new Ranger. I think they might have had the Volt, because it's Europe. So
yeah,
they had the
there was a Volkswagen truck. Yes.
Yeah, and then
there was a Chevrolet.
They had a Toyota. The Toyota won. But
they have that Helix or whatever.
Yeah,
Toyota. It's not the Tacoma.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, those guys are funny.
They didn't use a Toyota. Actually.
No, it was a Chevrolet.
Was it really?
It was.
I know they had the Ranger.
It was a Chevrolet.
But they had the obstacle course set up.
Yeah,
you had to go drive through the sand pit.
Yeah,
and then they had the bad guys pop out of the barn. They had a 50 cal mounted on the bed.
Yeah,
and that short crazy dude that wrecked that $200,000 hybrid, firing.
Yeah,
live
rounds. They were shooting live rounds at this place and see who they do some funny stuff there, man.
Yeah, I was entertained.
That was pretty cool, man. But anyway, nice,
yeah, we digress.
There we go. We're off on our little tangent there for today, and so that's it for sure. So what's up?
Current events?
Is there any?
It's raining.
Yeah,
everybody mask mandate. That's about it. There's nothing new.
Situation normal.
Yeah.
Everybody that's coming to the shop's wearing a mask. So I guess that debate's over.
Yeah. Afternoon thunderstorms.
Yeah. Right on time, too. 2 o'clock. Today they were late.
Yeah.
But I swear for the last 10 days, it's been 2 p.m. on the money.
Afternoon thunderstorms. You're going to fish early.
Yeah.
Be done by noon, and wait, the storm will come.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to mention, we need to go ahead and start putting it out there, is the October 17th.
Yeah, man.
Norvice event.
Oh, I thought it was on my birthday.
And Shannon's birthday. I think we mentioned it last week, but we need to mention it every time we do a podcast.
We do.
October 17th, we still don't have the final details, but plan to be here.
It's going to be huge.
Huge.
And
bigly.
Making fly tying great again. Huge.
And Norvice, Tim O'Neill will be here. Shannon will be in the shop. So if you've never got to actually touch or use a Norvice, it's a good opportunity for that. Plus, they'll be showing kind of how things work with it, how to tie with it, and all that. So it'll be a good time to
be mesmerized.
Come hang out. Like I said, we'll maybe do a schedule where every half hour or hour for those 3-4 morning hours, we might kind of have it set up to where the first hour is this, the second hour is this, so you can kind of plan hey, I want to see how to do dubbing or whatever.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I was spinning out some caddis last night, just spinning that dubbing on there, zip, running that hackle down and back, and then slapping at it.
Yeah, so
cow, elk on there, and whammo.
There you go.
Other than that, I don't think there's any other events this year. It's kind of hard to plan a lot of events because of everything that's going on. You just don't know.
Yeah, well, you can go ahead and plan for delayed harvest starting October 1.
They will still be stocking.
They will still be stocking twice in October here. And if you're looking to do a trip October, November, December, you need to start getting your dates and contact us.
A lot of the spring trips that got canceled, we got rescheduled for October and November. So, when you get your lodging squared away, or I'd say, if you're going to be up here and know your date range, go ahead and give us a call and let's get out there because we are doing something a little different this year and spreading out the demand of guides that we have. So the calendar is going to operate a little different, and not that the consumer will see, but certainly to kind of make it a little easier, customer service interaction in the shop be a little better and things like that. So it's going to change the availability a little bit, but yeah, give us a call. Let's get you out there and get you on the calendar.
Be here before we know it.
It will be.
Yeah, be here before we know it.
Coming fast.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
So today's topic, I'm just going to surprise everybody because usually we talk about what we're going to talk about, or we have a special guest. So
the big reveal.
So it's nothing special, boys.
Yeah, we really don't know yet. So.
I haven't even picked one yet. I got to look at my list.
So here we go. You're all going to be surprised as much as we are at this point in time. Uh-oh, here we go.
It's like some guided trips.
That's a topic
What
in its
to
own
do?
self.
Like, oh, I can't believe that happened, but that's awesome.
Did that just happen? That's right.
I'm looking. Hold on.
No,
hold
he's
on.
still looking.
I'm discovering what I want to do.
Wait, this is where we need a timer going there for sure.
So, since we just talked about guided
Let's
trips,
hit it. Come on.
what are the top 5 things you should ask your guide when you're on a trip? What is that?
What's that for?
You just want to hit a button?
That's one of them. Well,
No,
we
that
didn't
was-
know.
that was-
I mean,
that was number 5.
That was number
What's
5.
that for?
Number 5. What was that for?
Yeah,
That is,
that's a great question.
and we can do more than 5.
It
doesn't
really
have to be
kind of
5.
leads into that, though. Is really what is that for, or why are you doing it that way?
So that's going to be number 5.
That's 5 and 4. Why are you doing it? That's
We need to do top 10. If y'all going to keep
well.
rattling them off that
Well,
fast.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean,
I just blew that up, didn't
we were
I?
talking today about under promising and over delivering.
That's right, man. That's the way we do it at Tuckaseegee Fly Shop. That's right. But you're correct, absolutely correct. Why are you using that type of indicator?
Yeah. What's that for?
Ew.
So ask that question a lot. It sounds like,
Mm-hmm.
why? What's that rod for? What's that reel for? What's the fly? And this is going to obviously apply.
What's that for? And I'm like, that's after the trip. That's the bourbon sign.
This is obviously
This is the Tuck
one of
Cats
those
with a
things.
flash
If you've
of
never done a guided trip, these would be questions. But people that have done several, there might be something in here that
No,
you,
that's
you
exactly
say,
right.
Man, I never thought to ask about that.
Yes,
So
Like the Amadou fly patch. What's that for?
there it is. He's got to bring it up.
it's that.
always
I
in
wouldn't
there.
It's
know.
fungi.
Are you
For-
kidding me? I would not know.
It's
Like,
fungi. It's
why's that
fungi.
guy got a fungi on his shirt?
Because it's cool.
So yeah, I think that's something like I've done this with folks, and it all depends on the trip
Right.
that's coming in the door. If somebody knows nothing about fly fishing and they're doing a trip,
yeah.
I think it's kind of cool to go through all the gear before
Oh,
you
yeah.
actually get on the stand there at the car, say, hey, this is what this is for, and just kind of go through your
Yeah.
pack even,
Well, we have an
know?
obligation to do that.
and then you're showing them what everything is kind of
Yeah.
the reason. And then when you get on the water, they know like, oh, okay, that's the reason he's pulling that out
Right.
because we need to dry off the fly or whatever it is.
I think I said we have an obligation to do that when we counsel people and find out what they're looking to get out of the trip. That we do get some bucket listers, and we're glad to have them and glad to help them. But there's some people who want to know above and beyond that. And
Oh yeah,
they really appreciate us taking the time to show them, the reel and the line and why the line might have a line ID on it. And when we look at the rod down next to the reel seat, going over that data with them, it is a very important thing that if they want to purchase a rod from us later that day or a week from then, they kind of have an idea what they're looking for.
yeah.
So we can better help them get that line for that, or they kind of know, they kind of come in and they feel confident that they have an understanding of when we are talking to them, that they know what's going on. And
Yeah.
as it can be complicated, but it's not necessarily complicated too. So
Yeah.
I think that's very true. Very, very good thing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's number 4?
Well, I came up with 5.
You came up with 5 already. So for instance, all right. So like
No,
today.
number 5. I don't know.
Okay. So, for instance, today, when I am using an indicator with some folks, I like to make my own indicators. And we got onto the topic of why, not what was that for, but why
are
I'm
you doing it that way?
Because I feel like I get a greater, it's more sensitive. The sensitivity is greater. And when you have fish that it's a very light sip and spit right now, seeing that happen, I feel like you have a better chance of detecting a strike and also getting more hookups. The other reason why I like to do that and why they ask this is it lands like a dry fly. It lands like a feather. It doesn't splash. So as you've got lower water levels, more spooky fish, I feel like we're not spooking out as many fish. And that's why I'm using that with these folks, and it seems to work out okay.
Yeah. So we got the what's that for and why are you doing that, basically.
I think they kind of
And I think the why are you doing that, it goes almost through the whole day because it's like, why are we casting here? Why are we fishing in this spot?
You just
Why
took 2 and 3.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding.
Who's on first?
I'm joking.
Who's on first?
So ask the what, ask the why, Like, why are we doing what we're doing?
And then how?
Why are we using that fly?
Yeah.
Like, then you start getting into the different types of flies.
Well, and we're talking about, the top 5 questions we get asked on trips. I think we don't get asked this enough.
What, the why?
All of it, yeah.
I thought there was waiting. I was moment of silence.
Oh, yeah.
for it.
Yeah, I thought you were about to come with number 3.
We don't get
All right,
asked this one.
here's number 3. Here's number 3. You ready? You got a drum roll button there? Shannon? All right, here we go.
I hit the wrong one. Let's go ahead and do that.
What's the biggest fish you caught in here?
I get that a lot. What's the biggest fish you caught in here?
Like in the shop?
No, in the where we're guiding.
Oh, on the river?
yeah.
Whatever river it is?
Yeah.
Well, today you've got over 20 inches.
Oh, boy.
I didn't tell them that. They didn't ask.
They should have listened to
They
the
should have listened to this
podcast.
podcast.
They will. But I mean, I'm not. Hopefully, that's reserved for after the trip. Yeah.
I don't know. Like if we're floating the tuck, I don't know that I personally have landed a lot of 20-inch fish.
Yeah. Right.
It's my clients that have.
Right.
Because I don't get to fish it a lot.
Well, that's it. We we're out there, and that was one of the fly shop myths. And if you look, we actually had a lot of listens to that particular podcast. There, is we don't get to fish every day.
Yeah.
And that's where, if we're not out there, we don't have those opportunities
Yeah.
for us personally
Yeah.
for that to happen. I mean, we fished last year. We fished Scotts Creek in the Tuck. We were looking for other places on the Tuck in October, and we fished. All 4 of us, miss you, Jack. All 4 of us fished up in March, and then we fished up on the West Branch of Delaware.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's it. I mean, think about how many times we actually get out
Yeah.
together, maybe as someone else in this shop. There, it doesn't happen often. And then you got kids, I've got kids of various
Life
age.
happens.
Life happens, and it and then Bobby's
got switch rods.
Bobby's out critiquing restaurants and letting us know where
That's
to go
it.
eat. And so so we don't always get to spend time on the water.
That is a good restaurant.
It is. It was.
Well, that's
it was good.
I mean, I was just thinking that's a question I actually get
Yeah.
asked a lot.
We do.
Well, I think that's important because depending on which creek you're in, that gives them, if they ever come back, like, okay, catching a 12-inch fish in here is solid.
Yeah,
or
sure.
catching a 24-inch fish
Well,
in
the
here is
greatest
trophy.
is-
Or
right.
We're catching those fun size 10 to 12. And like, okay, this is
Right.
good. This is a good trout, sure. And then then they see
Right.
the big boy and get the big boy in the net and the Brady's handmade net.
That's right. Gets the juices flowing.
I tell you what I love about those nets when you're netting a big fish, especially like one
Right.
that's over 20.
Right.
When you go in there and you stab it, you feel like you're gonna break the net, but watching that thing bow, it will actually like bow down and like as you pull it up through the water.
Yeah.
It's awesome to watch.
Cool. You don't think that maybe is the refraction maybe?
Oh no,
I'm getting technical here, scientific.
it is it is
not
it is
seen.
definitely
Is it?
bending.
Yeah,
I mean, you got a 6-7 pound trout in the net against current.
Yeah.
It's gonna bend.
Yeah. Well, cool.
But yeah, they're awesome. I mean they go right back to shape. It's not like it's
and
wood.
they're light.
They are.
The weight of those nets are really neat. And just
So-
watching some of that stuff he's been doing with the artwork,
Yeah.
is pretty
The color,
special.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. Absolutely.
All right, sorry. Got sidetracked by
Wonder why he's doing that.
great craftsmanship there.
There's a question to ask.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like, yeah. There you go.
yeah, there you go.
There's a
Yeah,
question. I
there
mean,
it
we're
is.
always questioning things, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Where are you using that fly line?
What is another one? How do you say the name of this river?
it's not things we get asked. It's things that they should ask
Oh,
us.
they should.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like coming with all the.
I'm sorry. Is this where we take out too? Like,
No, we're trying to help them, like, so they can get more.
is it not to
informed.
holla or not to hula?
Why are you not wearing waders?
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah.
Like, why? I thought we
Speak
were
for
waders.
yourselves. I wear waders.
One to always ask probably anywhere you go fishing, because just because you're there doesn't mean that's the best time to fish. Is
Right.
when is the best time to come to this area and fish?
Yeah.
Mm.
And
You know,
that's
we
the
get that a
question.
lot.
I agree with that.
And we get it a lot, but we also tell people a lot, because right now we have a ton of folks coming in the shop wanting to fish the Tuckaseegee, and right now is not the time to be fishing the Tuckaseegee, really. Not for trout.
And I'll say neither is October.
Yeah. I think it needs to be the 3rd or 4th week in October is the better
And that's what we say a lot. It's
into
the
November.
second week of
Yeah.
October on. That's what I like to say.
It's still warm.
Now, if you want to fish here in October, you can, but we may look at doing some other water based
Yeah.
upon what your skill sets and physical abilities are.
Yeah.
But
Definitely learning the area and knowing, hey, I need to be up there. Now, I will say this. If it's the peak time, that means it's going to be busy probably.
yeah, absolutely.
Anywhere you go, you know,
Right. Mhm.
whether it's here or out west or the northeast or saltwater or whatnot. But
Right.
you can always kind of hit the beginning and end of that peak season.
Right.
You know, like going into our fall, coming in early to or December, great time usually. And there's going to be a lot less people.
And
on the
it
water.
quiet downs after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Holy cow! December can be amazing. 60-degree days in December,
Yeah.
and there's nobody out there.
And there's hardly anybody up here fishing.
Now
so.
you could also have 10 inches of snow,
Yeah, that's a gamble.
but the fishing's still amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got
They clear the
photography to
roads.
prove that. I
Yeah.
mean, that trip Chris did for us with it. He and Jack were out there. It snowed. That was the beginning of that 9 or 10 inch snow in December, and they crushed it. They absolutely had a fantastic
Yeah.
day down there in Bryson City.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely asking when to be here is probably a good one.
Yep.
I always have been asked, and I think this is a good question. Is it's kind of about the what and why type thing, but the equipment we use. Why do we fish with expensive rods? I mean, there's no other way to say it. Pricey equipment, and part of that I think is it's American made, so it's going to cost more.
Yes.
It comes with a lifetime warranty.
That's right.
The quality and the consistency of the equipment has always been top notch on most companies. Customer service. There's just like so many factors of why we use those higher end price points on stuff. So customers sometimes don't realize that, especially somebody that's maybe just, fished in their farm pond or something like that, growing up
Right.
with their Zebco. And there's nothing wrong with it, man. I used a Zebco for a lot.
Zebco 33, baby.
Yeah. But, there's something about having something that performs well that, hey, I could pass this on to my kid,
Yes.
whatever it may be. Or if I decide to sell it, I'm going to get a good price for it. It's not going to lose a lot of value, all that type of stuff. So,
Right.
that's always a question that I think we get asked. And I think it's a good question is, I've had people ask me, like, I'm holding this rod and reel. How much is this worth? And when I tell them, that's, $1,200, they're like, what?
Yeah.
So.
And I find that with that being said, people really respect that we put quality gear in their hands.
Yeah.
That goes a long way. I think that definitely shows the value we put on our clients, regardless of skill sets. You're going to have quality gear in your hands, and we're going to work with you with that there. So I think that's important. I've been on guide trips where we didn't have quite as good quality stuff, but that's okay too.
Yeah.
Quality made stuff, it goes a long way, and of course, taking care of it too is the other part of it.
Oh,
it
absolutely,
goes
yeah.
it goes hands in hand. But I get asked, why are we using that weighted rod?
Yeah. Yeah, because there's definitely different creeks and circumstances and flies, and there's a lot of reasons for why you use certain rods. It's not really just one, really, right?
It's
know?
an opinion,
And sometimes it is just like what you prefer. It's not necessarily that you're right or wrong. It's just
right?
what it is.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. What's that two-hand rod?
what
Yeah.
what two-hand?
What's that two-hand rod?
That is fun, two-handed.
I mean,
rods.
that's another question. What is that two-hand rod
Yeah.
that people can ask?
I think when you're booking a trip too, you should probably ask about the difference of a wade and float for folks that don't know much about that.
Yep.
That's something to consider. Yeah, I know we've had a ton of folks in the shop that, come in and they're like, yeah, I want to do a guide trip, and they know nothing about it. And you mention a float, and they're like, what is that? Like, so, knowing the difference between that could determine when you come here and fish, when you book your trip, how you're going to fish, things like that. So, kind of asking those questions to see what opportunities there are in the area you're going to fish. Because some areas of the country, they may not float. They may not have rivers in that area that are floatable. Who knows from what that guide service does or whatnot. Then other areas you can. It's like us this time of year, we don't have a lot of options for trout floats because of water temps and things like that. But we have a ton of spring-fed creeks for wade fishing and dry fly and that type of stuff. So, those are all good questions to ask even before you book the trip, not necessarily on the trip.
How many people can we put in the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
We've never tried. How many can we?
How many people could they put in a Volkswagen?
Yeah.
Look at them
I mean,
pictures coming out of the Nantahala. You can see how many they can fit in a boat.
Yes.
Man, you see some of those rafts with like 15. Man, them things are riding low.
Yeah.
Some of those whitewater rafts, man, they like go through the rapid and it's just like, it just kind of like goes with it. It like just flexes. There is no like bouncing or anything. It just all the weight in it.
Yeah.
I think people don't ask enough questions about knots.
Yeah.
I mean, when I
True.
go on a guided
True.
trip, I'm looking to see what knot the guide is tying. Like if we were on Delaware,
We were critiquing.
or when we go to Montana, I'm not critiquing necessarily
Well,
by
but,
any
I
means,
mean,
but
we're- we talk
I'm
about
taking
it.
notes.
We talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, like, hey, did you see he tied that loop knot for that streamer the same way I do? Or
I mean, yeah, we
Plus
do.
that and the way they rig stuff. Like when we fished with Steven, he was
Yeah.
using the amnesia stuff.
yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Like there's certain things when you go to a certain area, just because we taught you something or another guide service doesn't mean that somebody doesn't do it different. There's 5,000 ways to do it. That's
Yeah.
the thing. And there's certain instances where that way works better. So it's cool to go with different areas of the country and see how they do things, because sometimes it's totally different than what we've done or what you've done, or so
Right.
it's a great thing to see.
Sure.
I just I get to tying a knot, and it's tied hopefully pretty fast, and as long as my eyes are working that day. But it's like I don't think about it, but I should have said, hey, come watch me how I tie this, so you know what to do when you're out on your own.
Yeah, knots are that might be the toughest thing for folks. I tell you, that's a very limiting factor for them, because when you're not fast at it, you're not going to change flies often, because
Right.
you're scared. Man, I got to sit here for 15 minutes and tie this
Right.
new knot.
Yeah.
So that's something that once you learn the knot, you need to practice the knot.
Practice. That's right.
Well, that's the thing. I think when I realized how serious you were about going down to being a saltwater guide was when I came over to your house there in Raleigh, and you had all that rope out.
Yeah, I just sit there on the couch and
Sit
tie
there.
knots.
Bobby had rope sitting on the coffee table where he'd been sitting on the couch watching, the Bimini Twist videos and
Right.
different saltwater rigging videos. But yeah, he was practicing. So I went home and got my twine and started practicing.
You fight like you train, and you train like you fight.
But we don't fish with twine. So
or big old quarter-inch rope.
quarter-inch rope.
But it's a great way to learn without
It is.
killing your eyes for hours. I mean, you can just sit there and watch TV and tie knots. It's kind of
Well,
cool.
it's easier to train that muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And the thing is you start with a big rope, but then you downsize, and then you downsize, and then when you get to tip it, man, it comes together.
yeah,
So start with a rope, go to twine, go to old fly line, and then go to tip it, something like that.
Yep.
Practice the knots. So and learn ones that you won't use that often, because there's circumstances where, you'll be happy that you know how to do a blood knot. Are you going to use it a lot unless you build leaders? Probably not. But there's been times where I've broke off, and I don't want to it's broke off above the flies,
Yeah.
and I don't want to have to retie my entire fry, and I can throw a blood knot in it and keep fishing.
I was taught that's how we attach tippet to our leader.
Was blood knots?
Blood knot.
I mean, I like it better than
Because
a
I could
surgeon's
stand
knot.
out there in the middle of the straight fort. Oh crap! Stand out there in the middle of the creek and it's not fishing great right now.
Yes, it is.
And tie a blood knot. And that's not an easy one to tie. But
Now
that's
you
what
got
I
that
learned.
tool. You use that thing a lot?
I do when I'm making an inf leaders.
Yeah.
That I do. It is
blood
kind of
knot
nice.
tool?
I
Oh,
do
yeah,
have-
that little like
that kind of thing is
Like
kind
a
of
little
boom, boom,
flipper
boom.
flans
Yeah.
on the sides.
Yeah, so Braden was running around the house the other day. He was trying to attach a leader to some braided line, and
Uni knot.
So no, he was doing a blood knot.
So he's doing a blood knot.
So he taught him. He watched and he did the blood knot. He started with big yarn, and then he went down to smaller twine in multiple colors, and he can tie the blood knot now. And I'm like, that's cool.
Does it hold pretty well? Seem like, because usually the uni
that's
knot's
what
the more preferred.
That's what. Yeah.
Because it's like knot, and they jam together.
That's what his uncle does, and
Yeah,
he sold. That's all that matters. It's confidence.
that's it.
But yeah, but it is practicing, and that's cool. I watched them progress. It's important.
So yeah, there's all those things to kind of ask. There's probably others that we didn't even mention.
Oh, yeah.
But hey,
What type of clothing should I wear?
yeah,
Time of the year.
not that bright orange shirt that you got on.
yeah. Those Tennessee fans, don't wear that stuff on the river
Yeah.
unless it's a camo Tennessee hat. So
It's got the orange tee.
It's got the orange tee, but that's not too
it's
bad.
It's camouflage, but it's got the orange tee.
That's how you can show a little pride, but still be okay.
That's
you
cool.
know?
That's cool, man. Absolutely. What kind of new gear's coming out? People ask that.
Yeah.
I get asked that.
Yeah.
You get asked that deal sometimes? Really? Any new rods?
When do I need to set the hook? I do get.
Oh,
That's number
About 3 seconds ago.
numero uno right there.
well, why did I need
You
to
see
do
when that indicator's swimming around, like it's going upstream? You might want to set it there.
Yeah. You know when that fly disappeared? Yeah, that was a fish.
I told him today that assume everything's a fish until proven otherwise.
That's right.
Strikes are free, right? Who said
Hook
that?
sets are free.
Hook sets are free.
Hook sets are free.
Hook sets are free, but then we came up with the new one today. Let's just assume everything's a fish until proven
That's right.
otherwise.
No, yeah.
And you know, we can laugh about it, and that's a great way to be out there with you're working with folks, and shame on me for not asking a question. I thought, based upon my repeat client, him bringing his brother-in-law, and he had all his gear and stuff, that he had caught trout on a fly rod before, and that was not the case. So shame on me for not.
You threw that fish in the water, didn't you, before you even took a picture?
Oh no, it's not the case. He
I've
told
done
us.
that.
No, he told us
I
later.
felt bad.
He goes, yeah. He goes, man, I got
Man,
my
that was
first.
your first fish. I just threw it back.
And you're like, I got my first trout on the fly rod, and we both like, really? And we're like, Jeff's like, are you serious? And we didn't know that, but yeah. So questions we ask people, I like to ask people too. So, yeah. So we came up with that. I'm like, assume everything's a fish. He goes, well, I think it's a rock. I said, well, assume it's a fish until proven
When that indicator
otherwise.
starts swimming, it's
and when,
not a rock.
And then when he started, he goes, oh, that was a fish.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one,
Yeah.
and you go branching out on their own. I've got another one, and you go, and they yell, and you go net it for them. So it does. That was a good one there for sure.
Well, cool, man.
Yeah,
well, if anybody's got other good questions that we totally forgot, this should go up on YouTube. So you can throw them up there in the comments, and then the other people will know,
Right.
hey, ask this too. This is
That's
a
right.
good question. So
And then Bobby's disclaimer, if you're driving, don't try to watch it on YouTube while driving. Just wait till later.
I don't know if
Does
you're.
that cover ourselves?
I know Scott's down there sitting still on 285 in Atlanta. So
sitting in traffic, that might be the way to do it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Maybe.
Oh, my heavens.
I've
man.
never done that.
Yeah.
what? Watch. Oh yeah.
God, do you remember we were watching coming back from?
I don't know what y'all are talking
we were
about.
coming back from Virginia. We had the playoff game. I was.
Yeah, you put it up on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
I
on the
had
holder.
it, but I wasn't driving.
Yeah, that's right.
Bobby and I weren't driving.
But
That was the Chiefs and the Texans.
yeah,
I wasn't driving either.
No, for a while we wasn't because there
It
was
was
that
on
wreck.
autopilot.
There was that wreck.
yep.
Remember that? There was that
I
wreck.
just remember after
We got to the barbecue
after
place.
Smitty's
We got
going
to
to sleep.
We got to the barbecue place. Is all I know. We got to Smithfields. We got some barbecue.
So, what's the fishing report this week?
Man, fish early. Fish anything.
We didn't
bright
do the
green.
jingle.
I know. Dale just hopped right in there.
Nah, let's do it.
Dale's like,
Ben's already asleep down here. We done bored him to death.
He's asleep, but he's not breaking wind. So that's
Fishing
Um,
report.
That's right.
Fishing report. Fishing report.
Fishing report. Dale's come back from a week of working at home on vacation and getting a lot done, and he's like, fishing report.
Yeah, fishing report.
Fishing report.
The we went up blue lining and you couldn't be yellow enough. Like the dull yellow cat
Like
is
scared yellow?
No, like yeah, right.
Yeller.
The it had to be almost just electric yellow.
Yaller.
Yaller. So, and it didn't matter what it was.
Like a golden yeller.
You were
No.
back there in a place not to be mentioned?
Nah, it's Horton's Creek. Or
Horton.
Messer Branch.
Horton who?
Messer Branch.
Horton's who?
Yeah, I mean, it's on the fly.
Bennett's
It was it's on the fly trail.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be because of the life-threatening
I mean,
situations
absolutely.
you get in.
Do you think Greens
wasn't
Creek?
that bad.
Do you think Greens Creek should be on the fly trail?
No.
Exactly. Savannah Creek?
I've been wanting to fish it more, but I just gotta.
More? I've yet to fish it.
Well, I haven't either, but I
I'm like, I value my
I
life. I
see-
saw
I
two
see the-
snakes today.
pull over and I'm like, man, right there's where you get in.
And you're like, okay.
And once you're in, you're gonna be in for
Once
a
you're
little
in,
bit.
it's like,
but,
okay, where's the bee's nest and the snake den?
Man, I know there's got to be some nice fish in there.
Oh, it has
coming
to
up
be.
out of the tub.
Has to be.
Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
it has to be.
so yeah, dry droppers, soft tackles, it's good, but
Yeah.
you need to be off the water by noon. Get a thermometer, You know, keep that thermometer on you. You start the morning, you're going to see it's 60. But you know, you hit 12 o'clock, 1, 2. It's going to be upper 60s, if not higher. I think you saw a reading today, 72 on the Lefty.
Yeah, that's down at Birdtown for those folks
that's-
that's down below the water treatment plant. And part of that has to do with when they release water out of that plant. You can see the pH levels change, and
Yeah.
it really coincides. But still, it has to be warmer upstream. I got to be honest with you. I got my butt skunked Saturday morning up on Lefty. Man, I screwed the pooch. I just didn't have it. My hook sets were bad. The bite was really light. There was good water flow, though, and the water felt good.
Well, that one guide service that guided 15 people in that stretch 3 hours before, you could have just wore it out.
Well, they had to be there at 4:30 in the morning, though.
Oh, well, the day before.
Could have been.
What
but
time did you get there?
I was done before noon.
Well, that doesn't tell me what time you got there. What time did you start?
I covered quite a bit of water.
It's like all secret.
Loose lips sink ship.
I was up around 5.
Where'd you fish today? The river.
The water.
The water.
Yeah.
On
No,
the water.
but
Well, I tell
What-
you, what's the sad
Yeah.
thing of this summer
Yes.
is the smallmouth.
the smallmouth. Was,
Yeah, all
with the
these
These
conditions.
storms are a blessing and a curse because they help keep some water cool here and there.
Right.
They make it bearable at night, but they keep the rivers muddy, and you know we've not booked any smallmouth trips. We're intentionally not booking smallmouth trips because I don't want to play this game.
Yeah,
so
it's
I've
so
already
tough to-
already got one that's we rescheduled twice already.
Yeah.
We just can't keep doing that.
And we want the people to have a quality experience. Too.
Yeah,
and
I'm not
that's the
gonna-
reason why we do that.
I'm not going to row you down a muddy river and let you wear your shoulder out and not
Right.
catch anything.
Now, did you see?
It's practice.
Were the fish pretty energetic for you guys, or was it a light bite
Oh, last week on the brook or
on
the
your blue line stuff?
On the
Yeah.
blue line.
Oh yeah, they were hammering it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top water.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't take a single nymph in my pack.
There you go.
I just took the dry fly box.
So I've noticed, and a lot of us here, Baker and Preston, that the bite's been really soft. Anything subsurface, it's just super light.
Yeah.
So it's a little technical, but there you go.
Well, the water's warmer. Everything's more supple.
It's warmer,
It's more supple.
supple. Did you put up any pictures of Brady's nets? I don't know what you did there. I don't know.
Hey,
Okay.
I will say the week before last.
Yeah.
The water got clear enough. Back to smallmouth real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
Preston had a float down the Little Tennessee and landed one of the biggest smallmouth I've seen come out of Little Tennessee.
Yeah.
It was 2 or 3 pounder. It was nice.
Got a good picture of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you put that up yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So it's coming.
Because I don't want to advertise like,
Yeah.
hey, come book this, because that's not happening.
But it's plausible down the road.
It's
I mean,
It was the right place, the right time. That was probably the one day
Cool.
that conditions were perfect for that to happen.
Was
and I'm
that
glad
an
it
evening,
did.
afternoon thing?
It wasn't at 4 to. It was I think they met at the shop at 4 and then went to dark or something.
Right.
yeah.
Do you think that that smallmouth is better that time of the day, or
Oh, it's a morning evening thing.
Is it?
Absolutely. Stuff between, I think between noon and 3 or 4, you should just be on the bank sipping bourbon. So
Which do you prefer?
Take a
bourbon.
nap. I like sleeping.
You answered the question.
Morning or evenings? I think evening's better.
I like evening for
But
trout.
it depends on
personally.
water temperature.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get over there in some places, and if that water temperature, we actually last summer saw the water temp on that one stretch hit 86.
Wow.
And that's getting to be too hot for smallmouth.
That's
Right.
pretty dang warm.
So
Right.
that's like the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Not
You
quite,
know.
but yeah. I can
Yeah.
talk to you about that.
And
That's another Navy story. But
we were diving down there. I took it. We were diving down there,
Yeah.
Bailey's. So, but if you get these rains, it keeps it a little cooler.
Yep.
And but I think the evenings are where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I like evening for trout. I just like out there. We say what the witching hour, which is not the true definition, but
Yeah.
We've already been there.
We Googled that.
but that's,
Witching hours. What was it? I don't know. We're not going down
I was
that.
corrected by somebody on that.
It's like 3 o'clock in the morning.
I got
or
made
something.
fun of for saying on the articulate fly, the witching hour,
Did somebody
it-
call you out?
I did.
Bobby.
Oh, okay.
He's like, man, we ain't fishing out there at midnight. And I was like, dude, it's right there at dark. Like right there at dusk. It's like you can just barely see your fly coming down.
Yeah. No, it's perfect.
But that's not the definition of the
I
witching.
love it. I love it. And it's usually you can throw
Well, me and Ellis say it.
a little
so-
bit bigger fly. You know, you get like a 30-minute window where it can be just epic.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like fish after fish after fish. You might be slow up in that point, but then when you hit it, it's like somebody hit a light switch, and it's just the angels are doing all their stuff, and
Yep.
it's perfect.
That's right.
You have to be here to experience that, right?
That's it.
That's it, man.
They got anything else?
That's it, my man.
Man, absolutely. Well, good deal.
We're
man.
pushing that 45-minute mark. So
Holy cow.
and
44, 58, 44,
Dale's got to
59.
take a call here in a minute.
Do you
so,
really?
Yeah, we got our you want to do it? Articulate
Articulate
Fly
Fly's
fishing
calling.
report.
You're going to do
In about 3 minutes, he's
and
calling.
Marvin Cash there.
Go check out the fishing report with Marvin
Yeah,
on the Articulate
absolutely.
Fly.
We appreciate Marvin. He was a listener there too. If you're not listening to that podcast, be sure to check that one out. Well, good deal, folks. We're going to close this bad boy out here. Thanks for listening to the Tuckcast with a splash of bourbon, sponsored by Brady's Handmade Nets. Be sure to follow Tuckaseegee Fly Shop on all major social media platforms for all the latest happenings and latest videos. Have a question or comment, be sure to send them to info@tuckflyshop.com or via the snail mail, which nobody's done, at tuckflyshop.com, 530 West Main Street, Silva, 28779. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.